Okay, let's start. So thank you for having an interview with me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Today I have an interview with Heart of Gold Shelter with Ms. Jessica Garcia.
Yes.
Thank you. So today I would like to ask the general question that people want to know about shelter and shelter dogs. First question is, what will happen to dogs after they come to a shelter, and what kind of care do they receive?
Yeah, so before I go there, I want to specify, even though we do have shelter in our name, we are technically a dog rescue. By all intents and purposes, a shelter is more like those very large ones where you can go in and pick a dog and go out same day, adopting one same day. So it's a faster process, and they don't really look in depth into any of the background of the person that's adopting them. So we do a little bit more personal, where we try to match a dog with the correct home.
Which is better for the dog?
Yes, absolutely. But I understand large shelters can't do that. They don't have the ability to. There's too many dogs coming in. They need dogs to go out. So I get that they still serve their own purpose. So when a dog comes to us in particular as a rescue, they transfer in from either San Diego Humane Society or our partners with the Chula Vista Animal Care Facility, which are indeed shelters. And once they're transferred in from there, we're generally just giving them time to kind of warm up. They get to meet the group. They get to experience their surroundings, kind of run around in the yards, and just pretty much acclimate is what we're doing when they first come on in. I believe your second question was it what happens, or how long can they stay? Or
Yeah, how long can the dog stay?
So for us, we don't have a limit for how long they can stay. I know there are shelters in different parts of the county where they do have a limited amount of time, and then they go try and transfer them elsewhere. But for us, they have an unlimited stay. And with other places, again, most places in San Diego County are no kill, which means they generally don't have a timer. But as soon as you start heading up north, hitting San Bernardino, LA, that's when they put them on timers. And sometimes they only have about 3 days to get a home or be euthanized. Yeah, it's very fast. It's very fast.
Very fast.
Yeah.
It's not part of the question list, but which dog is the oldest dog that you have?
That we have?
Yeah.
He's 15.
15 years?
He's 15. He came here when he was 13, and it was at the height of the pandemic that he came.
Oh, yeah.
So as soon as he transferred over,
he's been here like 2 years.
yeah, because of the pandemic, and then of course we were mostly shut down for the pandemic. We were here for the dogs, but we did nothing people related for about 2 years. So that tacked on an additional 2 years to him, and he's 15 now, and people generally don't look his way, which is sad. He's a sweet boy. He's looking for a home, so it's just how it is.
How many dogs can you your facility?
Yeah, so how many can we technically have? We can probably have around 25. Now, because we just operate with a small staff, we only carry a maximum of 10 at a time.
I see.
Yeah, we are looking to expand towards expansion in the future, but for now, this has been in operation for 4 years, so they were just kind of interested in seeing how things go and how things went prior to doing any type of expansion.
So have 10 dogs, and
Yep.
then as they adopt it, and then you get the new one.
Correct. Yep, we keep replenishing.
So I think it was last question.
Oh, take your time.
Two more questions. Sorry.
Yeah.
So one of them is, why do you think people just drop their dogs to shelter?
There's a lot of
I know
reasons.
it's really hard.
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons actually. They go from what I regard the silly reasons to the more serious reasons. A lot of the times people in general, I would say the number one factor is that folks didn't necessarily plan, what would happen in the future if this happens? What are we going to do if that happens? For instance, a baby in their future, a child in their future, a change of jobs, a loss of a spouse, things like that, they don't factor in. So as soon as one situation happens where I get a lot of calls, oh, my girlfriend's pregnant, or oh, my wife is pregnant, or oh, I'm pregnant, so we can't keep this dog anymore. And I always ask, what is the other reason? Because that to me doesn't mean anything.
Right.
And then
Just to give them.
yeah, and they give me the tone that I'm pregnant. That's the only reason. Like I should understand. So it's
sad.
yeah, it's very sad. It's definitely very sad. But generally, that's one of the big reasons. They just don't plan for them in their future. They're there with them for the here and now, and they're kind of like a commodity, unfortunately, in their household. And that as soon as something changes, it's well, that's the easiest thing to move out of the way. So unfortunately, that's what it is. It's just folks not planning or thinking of them as a family member and just more as an item that's
Not that much
there.
of the love.
Yeah, they're just kind of there while they're cute. But I mean, people drop off for, try to drop off here, which we send them to the shelter for many other reasons as well. Dogs aren't getting along together or not getting along with the cat, or, I mean, all kinds of reasons. We hear everything under the sun.
So after hearing that, what do you think we can do to reduce the number of shelter dogs, the rescue dogs?
A lot of it is education. Just educating people on, especially when they get a puppy. Everybody wants a puppy for the holidays, for Thanksgiving, for Christmas, for a surprise birthday gift, which I never recommend. Because when folks are getting a puppy, they're living in that moment and they're not generally planning. So a lot of it is just educating people to hey, have you thought about what happens when blank occurs, or what happens when the dog gets a knee injury? They're very active, and now all of a sudden you're looking at $1,000+ surgery. Have you thought about all that? So it's just really important to just get people educated as a whole, all the things that can happen, and just all the things in their life that can happen that they maybe didn't think of. It's just important to really bring those to the front and see how they respond to those.
Well, that was the last question. So
Yeah.
thank you for the interview.
Wonderful,
today.
absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely.